Hello there and welcome back to the channel. I'm David Steele and here's my truck, and we've just been some slow speed maneuvers there. I didn't want to crash anything with the camera in external view. Okay, everyone's doing well. It's felt like it's been a long time since I've done anything for ATS for the channel. It's not entirely true, but it's certainly been a while. Let's go ahead and move on out here. I suspect my game is going to be a little janky today. But yeah, it is janky. No, that's okay. The jankiness is caused by a low frame rate. And I know why that's caused. My machine really wants a reboot, and I haven't done it because I'm lazy. Let's talk a little bit about what we're doing today. Today we're doing a fairly short haul, as befits a fairly short truck. We are in a Peterbilt 389, and this, I'm supposing, is a fairly early model. Under the hood we've got a Caterpillar C13, as opposed to the more common ISX15. Drop it into low gear there, or low I should say. Now, this is not a truck blessed with an abundance of power. I'm tempted to use the outside lane here, I think I will. Actually, I didn't need to do that. Anyway, it's not a truck that is blessed with an abundance of power. Let's just put it that way.
Go straight.
The C13, this one is rated at 380 horsepower and 1450 foot-pounds of torque. So it's not a bad effort. But in the context of modern stuff, it is it's very much entry level. And I'm supposing that we bought this truck used, where it was pressed into service by one of the oil and gas companies, and it's now surplus to requirements. I suppose it's done its service, and we're going to go ahead and let it run out the rest of its life with us on the fleet. Must be making a bit of a mess getting up to speed here, but all said and done, we're out dragging this there's a Freightliner next to me. I think so. It is. There we go. It's a Cascadia. So, as well as the C13, we also have under the hood an Eaton Fuller, it's an 8908 LL. That's the 10-speed, but it's configured as an 8-speed with two extra low gears, two crawler gears. I lost all that inertia, having finally got up the hill and beaten Mr. Goliath here. Fine. I didn't want to go quickly up the hill anyway. Right, I actually want to wind this thing up to 65. Okay. So yes, it's a 10-speed, but it's configured as an 8-speed with a couple of crawler gears. And that's often aligns it more towards perhaps the vocational market as opposed to the fleet market. There are other 10-speed fleet transmissions available, or maybe for on highway use. But this gearbox, it's modern enough, and would have coped well with the rigors of what this thing would have been used for, which we imagine is taking equipment to and from different sites. So in line haul use, yeah, there's a case to be made for a different gearbox, and if this gearbox fails and we deem it sensible to do so, I'd likely change this for something else, but it seems to be fit for purpose right now. Okay, that's good. Now the cargo today is pretty chunky. It's 42,000 pounds of I think it's steel bars. Yeah, it looks a little lonely on the trailer there. It's kind of a dense cargo though. Yeah, so it's quite small, quite a tight tight little compact bundle of weight there, but it's not very tall, and so it works great with the normal roof truck. Let's go back here, I think. So yeah, pretty straightforward run, at least it should be. It's only 150 miles. The reason why is we're going from Odessa to Fort Stockton. No, it's Lubbock. My bad. I've done quite a few of these runs, these sort of day cab trips. I'm just playing around with different specification and what I like. The idea being is that this is a sort of, you would go there and back in a day. It's a day cab. So I've just been enjoying ATS. I think that's fair to say. Now, I haven't been well recently, and in fact, some of the family haven't been well either, which is the reason why we've had a bit of a break in producing videos. Yeah, funny story, isn't that funny? We went on a road trip, and seemed to have caught human malware in the last day or two of that trip. So I deliberately had done enough videos to keep the channel bustling just out on my holiday, on my vacation, and get back, and wasn't really able to do much. That's never fun. However, catching, I think I'm going to want to be reducing my speed quite a bit here. We use this little Caterpillar engine brake, or brake saver it might be called. Well, no, this is definitely an engine brake.
Go straight.
Okay, good enough. I am controlling the gearbox with sequential manual today. I'm using SCS's Smart Shift feature that they have, and what that means is that there are occasions when it will skip a gear. You see it less often with a 10 speed as you do with a 13, especially a 16 speed, but it does make life easier, and I've gotten used to it now, more or less. I lift off here, it might go to second. No, it didn't. We have a sufficiently heavy enough cargo and a sufficiently weak enough engine that it's going to go through every gear sequentially, and that's completely fine.
Go straight.
Now, I don't particularly want to wring this truck's neck just to get it up to speed, but it does feel a little compromised compared to a lot of the other stuff that I've been driving around in, which is why I've had a few days. There we go. It's gone to green. Let's get back on the power. I've had a few days to get used to how best to drive the lower powered C13, and I'm not going to say buy it like you stole it or drive it like you stole it, but it does feel a little bit like that. Now, it's doing okay, but my natural preposition, oh good grief, lose my language skills, to a short shift. I have to curtail that somewhat with an engine like this, especially with a cargo like this. It'll let you short shift it, but it will take a long time to accelerate up to a speed. So running the engine out to about 1700 revs seems to be a bit of a sort of natural flow for the lesser C13s, and that's actually true of a lot of sort of early 2000s engines. You don't need to wrap them around to the 2100 RPM point. I mean, you can, you really don't need to. Instead, use that sort of lower to mid-range torque that they have available on the power. Now, yes, it still takes us time to get up to a cruise. And I didn't check the mileage here, but how long it took in terms of distance. We'll hopefully be at 65 for a long enough period, and then we'll begin the deceleration into Lubbock. It's kind of how it feels. In terms of fuel consumption, the smaller engines are generally slightly more efficient than the bigger engines. Now I say generally because this engine is likely on the cusp of it's not really worth getting the smaller engine. With only 380 horsepower and 1454 pounds, it does feel that, you know, with a slightly more powerful C13 or possibly even a more powerful ISX15 or C15, it would be more efficient to drive that way. Now, it doesn't help the fact that 65 is about 1550 RPM. That doesn't help things, but that's not a terrible engine speed to be running at. So yeah, this engine feels like it's right on the cusp. The next C13 up is the 430 1650 foot-pounds of torque in this Double Oceans engine pack, and that does feel quite a bit more powerful. That feels a lot more powerful. Actually, not. I say quite a bit. Yeah, it feels a lot better. Is it too much? Kind of feel like you want something in the middle with maybe 400, 410 horsepower, but then 1550 foot-pounds of torque. But I don't have it in the engine pack, so this one will do. Besides, I don't usually carry a cargo quite like this. Well, I suppose it might be time to talk about a few of the changes that I've been making to this Double Oceans engine pack. And I doubt that the latest version, I think it's 1.5. Oh wow, 1.5.5 working on right now. I last updated the pack in around about August the 20th, and so I'm planning towards the end of the month to do another update, and that will have quite a few detail changes. Always something slower than you, isn't there? Oh, that was very dangerous, David. You do not want to be doing that. Yeah, especially when it's your exit coming up. Yeah, I'm not going to make this.
Exit right.
I might do. Oh, I think I will. Yep, I did. Oops. Yeah, that's not how you drive. A whole bunch of mistakes were made right there. So yeah, there are a number of changes that I'm... Oh, well, quality of life tweaks, I suppose you might say, to the engine pack. And a lot of these are either fixing a mistake that I made at some point in the past. Like, there's a particular Renault engine that's missing. Now, why is it missing? It appears I made a typo when creating those engine definitions. It's an easy fix, but I never spotted that it was missing. And this was an MIDR engine I introduced a couple of months ago, I think now. Some other changes, so I've adjusted things like the clutch engagement torque on a few engines. Usually when I design and write an engine definition, I do go back and look at it and drive it. This one stuck out because I'm like, I do my clutch engagement torques a little different these days as opposed to just a year ago now. A year ago, before, depending on the engine, it was well, it wasn't sticky finger up in the air and see what worked. I would go with a clutch engagement number, but I didn't always put that in at 800 RPM. Sometimes I put it in a little bit lower. Yeah, now I definitely do that a certain way. So your clutch engagement torque is often published by an engine manufacturer, and I feed that in to my engine definition spreadsheet at 800 RPM. And why 800? Well, I've seen that quoted a couple of times, the clutch engagement torque at this engine speed, and for want of anything else, it seems to work as well as it needs to. But a few engines, the C15 MXS Acer, for instance, that clutch engagement torque was actually fed in at 550 or 600 RPM. And so that had the effect of the engine felt really torquey at lower engine speeds. Now, some engines do have an awful lot of low-down torque. Caterpillar C13, the industrial definition that I used, yeah, it demonstrates masses of torque low-down. Most on-the-road engines don't have that sort of huge amount of torque low down. Yeah, they might have 1,000 foot-pounds. That's still very respectable, but it's not 1,400.
Get ready to turn right.
Some of the smaller engines, the modern smaller ones, are maybe 700 to 800 foot-pounds of torque. Still very respectable at low engine speeds, but I want to just try and tune that and get a consistent feel. So long and short, going back and changing those, it takes a little bit of time to do it. I would say it's a little fiddly, not that fiddly really. But when I have something like 150 supported trucks across both games, thankfully there are ways to make it a little less laborious. Alright, let's see. Where do you want it? Oh, you want it in there, do you? That doesn't seem too difficult now, does it? I mean, it might be. So yeah, a couple of tweaks here and there. I also worked on my compressed natural gas and my biogas type engines. In the past, I had not worried too much about their fuel efficiency, at least from the sense of cost per mile. Yeah, I think I've made a mess of this already. I don't want to run into that thing. But the volumetric efficiency of gas is quite a bit less than diesel. And essentially, that there's less energy per unit of volume. Satisfying when you get it correct. Oh, just don't get it correct then. Okay. It doesn't feel like a 40-point backing maneuver. That feels like a 90-point backup maneuver, but it looks like I'm going to do it. All right. Well, at least we have enough clutch engagement torque here for this engine to allow it to maneuver like this. I've barely used any power apart from perhaps moving forward. So yeah, a fairly brief video back. I've done some ETS videos. I don't think my voice was quite as good as it is today when I did those, but okay. Well, let's see how well we did here. Oh, you numpty. Because, of course, it's my own trailer. How much out of practice am I? Alright, 153 miles, that was pretty much what we thought it would be, and just 30 gallons of fuel, essentially. So, it's pretty much 5 miles per gallon. So, not a great economy figure, but I think all said and done, that's about what I might expect. I mean, maybe I'd be a bit disappointed because of the consumption's a little bit high, but it's a heavy cargo. That is 42,000 pounds stuck on the back, and so from that perspective, it's not a bad result. Right, well, I hope you got something from this, even if it's watching me more or less make a mess of maneuvering the truck right at the very end. So yeah, if you did, you know what to do. Go ahead and let me know. Click like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, and I'll see you the next time. Thanks everyone. Goodbye.